JarlofGoats here with Crit Crusaders, and today you're joining me for another episode of Death of the Deities. This is episode 4, part 1. Joining me today is Astro with 4020 role-playing. We've got Doip as Doip. We've got Megan as Went Off to Mars, and Troll as Gamer Rage Troll. It's been 3 months, guys. How are all of you?
Oh, you know, not too bad. I can't complain, really. That's pretty easy peasy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
I'm free.
And Megan's free.
Yep, that's
Just in case
a big statement.
Just in case anybody's interested.
Hey, it's a pretty valid statement.
It's like, finally, I got the shackles off.
Trevor, how do you feel that she refers to you as the Shackles?
Well, I'm okay with it.
More like school.
Lock that ass down.
Yes, school, man. How was that? You just finished, right? Are you going for more classes?
Yeah, in the fall. In the fall.
So
Got
enjoy
human
your
and geography.
Sorry
Yeah.
for microbiology, by the way.
Oh, microbiology. Let's see if you can apply those skills to your game.
I don't have any of those skills at the moment, so this will be interesting.
Well, there's no better time than the present. So, other than Megan finishing school, does anyone else have anything exciting to share?
Well, we know that.
I'm here.
Yeah, and he was sewing his Volkswagen up.
Yes.
Megan appreciated
Joining
with
me
red
today,
thread.
by the way, as an observer to see about setting up a second campaign of Death of the Deities, playing in a different location, is an observer by the name of Soggy French Fries. He and I go way back. High school, lived together, slept in the same room, same bed. You know, the usual. And he will be observing, so often you might find comments from James A. in the chat. That would be the other James of the group, which is Soggy French Fries. So, Soggy's here. He's a guest. Doip, what have you been up to? Anything exciting?
No.
No.
Nothing at all.
Why do I have a feeling that's not true? All right, well, we're going to actually get started. We started a little late, meaning 2 hours late because of technical difficulties, and we're beyond that because we have XSplit, and it's beautiful. Yes. So, does anyone at all have... Would anyone actually like to give us a recap of what happened? Because it has been 3 months.
I will let one of them do it because I always do it.
Yes, I am going to do my best to do the filling in of.
Good, I will give you an inspiration point if you do pretty well.
All right. So, we started off in the town of, what's that called?
Are you talking about the original town?
Yeah.
Gainsborough.
The town that Gainsborough.
The one that was like a medieval Gotham City.
Yeah. So we arrived there by boat, if I do recall right.
Yeah, you came by boat.
We all kind of skulked in the shadows and everything else, and came across a really cool bar that was very lively.
Oh yeah, the pirate bar.
Windows. What was that?
The pirate bar.
The
Yes.
pirate bar.
I don't seem to recall the name of that one, but I'll consult my books before you guys get back to it.
The handy book of knowledge. Yeah, so we arrived there. We met an interesting old man who was just nuts crazy, and I also got into arm wrestling with an half orc, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty certain.
I'm pretty
I
certain
think it was
as well.
half orc, and so I won a bunch of monies. And though we did find jobs, or on the job board that there were, what was it? What was on the job board? Oh, that there's
Wasn't that about
disease going around in this town, right?
Yes, I
Did we
believe
get that from the board?
I believe so. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, you guys got a A
'Cause
letter
I
on
wasn't
the
sure if
board.
we got it from the old man or if we got that from the board. That's where I'm confused. But he also told us that he was going over there to meet. The old man said he was going to meet with a witch or knew of a witch in the area. So after we rested up, we actually went on our journey of getting lost, where where we kept running in circles, even though I'm supposed to be like this great
Oh
ranger
yeah.
of tracking. And basically, we finally rested in a wolf's den and got our asses handed to us.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I think we all technically died.
I think I died a little there.
You died more than just a little.
Yeah.
I had to be resurrected.
Yeah, I think somehow the DM took pity on us because we had just been like maybe it was too soon or we had just been getting spanked by everything.
No pity was given. I will give you that. I actually put the hut nearby so that you guys would have a place to run to. But the problem is that
Oh, we woke up at the witch's hut. That's right.
right.
Yeah. Then we woke up at the witch's hut with everybody miraculously alive with their voodoo magic. That's right, Jamaican magic that a witch knows. Yeah, and then let's see, we found out, or we finally, or yeah, so she went. Astro drank some stuff from a cup and did a vision quest in her little, what was it, a crystal ball or?
It was like a cauldron. I want to say
Cauldron, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then he sees that there's this huge explosion coming from the town. So, and so we rushed over there as quickly as possible. Then we met up with a dwarf, which would be Doib.
Me.
Right. Dagg nabbit.
Dagg nabbit. That is correct. And found out that the source of all the sickness has been going around is actually due to a zombie in the water well.
Right. A zombie that came from. I think Dwight made a roll, and he's like, "Oh, I know of a dwarven set of mines nearby, and that's where the wells come from."
That's right. Let's see. And then I guess we didn't really deal with the problem. We just let him there. We're like, we'll get him later. Town's already gone, anyways.
They're doing fine on their own anyway.
They're doing.
Exactly.
They're doing good.
Let's see. After that, we went to the entrance of where the mines are, and completely destroyed all the goblins that are there.
Yeah,
Just
you guys
obliterated them.
massacred them. I think massacre would be a better word.
And I think that we're all pretty low on HP right now.
Yes, I believe you are correct.
Yeah.
Except for... Yeah.
I'm not too bad.
And that's... Oh, and then... what the hell? Fucking bugs.
Well, I have 1 hit point, so I'm doing awful.
Yeah,
No,
you guys
great.
got your shit pushed in the last battle.
Oh, but wasn't this the battle where like Troll kept like he was just owning them? I mean, he was like 1 hit killing all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I finally started using the bow.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a ranger and bows work. Whoa.
Well, earlier I remember using a lot of melee. I'm like, I got this. Terrible roll. Terrible roll. Terrible roll. I hit. No damage. And I was like, forget this. Pull out my bow. I'm like, kill, kill, kill. Unbeknownst to our group, Dagg Nabbit had come across a like a statue idol thing that's pretty small, and I believe where we left off is where his teeth started turning.
Yeah,
I found it in the junk pile and put it in my backpack thing. I'm gonna deal with this later because it's pretty dang neat.
Yeah,
Someone enters the room.
I think he did a religious check on it and fucking terribly failed.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so somebody comes into the room. That's somebody being Mitchell.
Mitchell.
That's how he introduced himself to you.
Let's see here. Zoom in the map. Gonna zoom in the map. Okay. Wait, who's Mitchell again?
So a guy came out and he applauded you.
Oh.
And he said, "Oh, good job! You know those goblins. They've been a problem." And he basically wanted to know why you guys were there. And then he pointed to Doip and said, "You guys are about to have some problems."
Man, you gonna have some problems. All right, so I'm gonna. Where's Doip? He's right next to me.
So.
Whoa!
Let's go through. That was a rough introduction, but that was a whole lot of stuff to remember. So, good job. Does anybody remember about the witch and turning into a beautiful woman?
Oh yeah, everybody had an orgy basically.
Yes, everybody had an
I forgot
orgy.
about that whole thing.
And she said that it would bless you. Nobody remembers it. It was some weird witch's like dance thing. Started off with her kissing Nightbreed passionately. She asked him, "Would you kiss me if you knowing what I really was?" And he just scooped her up. So that made her happy.
I ate cereal and scared some goats.
You ate cereal. All right, so back in the dungeon. Let's go ahead and paint the scene for our viewers. So, lots of dead bodies here, guys. Killed a lot of goblins. Before you is a gentleman dressed in a leather jerkin. It's of earth tones, mud slightly caked onto it. He also has a small blade at his side. He's relatively clean, but for adventuring down here, he's kind of gotten dirty. So it doesn't look like he's just some homeless guy in a cave. It looks a little more complicated than that. And he motions over to Doip as Doip. First, Doip, let's hear what is your class and your race. I wanna kind of reintroduce the characters for our audience since it's been 3 months.
Well, I'm a dwarf, and I am a what is it called again?
An engineer.
Engineer. It is a home class, but it's very well balanced, very enjoyable. I have a lot of gadgets. I'm basically a fantasy inspector gadget.
So, what is your character feeling right now?
Confused, shocked, a little bit of apprehension, pain. Things are happening. He doesn't know what.
So, things are happening to you, you don't know what, he's apprehensive. It sounds to me like he's curious.
Sounds to me like puberty.
I love how I just got a message from Astro going, "My mic's not working," and his way of testing it was busting Doip's chops. So Doip,
He sent that like half an hour ago, James.
there's blood coming from your gums, and your teeth are pushing down toward past your lips and into your beard. And you're just kind of feeling them, and you're noticing that your bones are starting to harden and protrude a little bit. What do you say? What do you do? Nothing? Because it sounds like to me you're doing nothing about it.
Kind of freaking out a little bit, and I throw my backpack across the room.
All right. So Doip freaks out, and everybody, actually, let's move over to Nightbreed from 4020 Roleplaying. Nightbreed, what is your class? And describe to me how your character's feeling right now.
My class is a fighter. I'm going for like the medieval Batman, basically, and I'm pretty certain. Well, I think it was Troll's character Grim. I had died, and he brought me back to life. So I am currently like pushing away from Dagg.
Yeah, you're very wounded.
Back, like shuffling back towards the wall.
You've actually got describe your wounds to me after being hit by all those arrows.
Well, you can see them protruding from different parts of my body, and it does not look like I feel well. And Nightbreed is known for being stoic, but he's noticeably grimacing.
He's what is grimming, Grim? Can you tell us what that is?
That's his signature move. I'd rather not discuss it.
It's a fatality. So you're kind of like leaned up against the wall then, and you're like still visibly injured. So Grim, you are the ranger of the group. What are you doing during all of this?
I'm a human ranger. What I am doing at
wait. Before we continue, I think that we should also say that you're a human ranger that rolled max HP.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, that's right.
So our ranger is our tank.
He wanted to do all range.
Right.
I will get you from far away.
Basically, what I think I would do is actually just move away. I think I would just go.
Slowly creeping back, no sudden movement.
All right.
Reaching for my sword.
All right. So yeah, you kind of look down and you reach for your sword. As Dagg is changing, you step back, and last but not least, we've got Kethra. Kethra, how's it going?
Not bad.
What class are you?
I'm a human monk.
Human monk.
Yeah. She's a little freaked out, taking a few steps back, like, what the fuck is going on with that guy?
Alright, excellent. So, Mitchell kind of holds his hands up in concern, and then you just see Dwight freak out, and he grabs his backpack, slings it off his back, and chucks it across the room. And then as soon as he does that, the teeth go and start sucking back in, and Dwight, you can feel pain as your bones go and reset back to their original form. Since that's happening to you, I think I'm going to give you 2 damage. Actually, you know what? I'm going to let the dice decide. Roll 1d4, because honestly, it didn't go that long. 3, you take 3 damage. Do you remember how to change your health?
Yep.
Alright. Excellent job. Mitchell sighs with relief and goes, I'm glad it was that simple. And he walks up to the bag, and he opens the pocket of the bag, and he reaches in and pulls out the rat idol and shuts it. And then you notice now that he's got a leather satchel on his side, and he unclips it. His buckles make a loud click as they echo throughout the room, and he slides the artifact in a bundle that he swaddles inside the side bag, claps it shut, and he's like, my friends, I mean you no harm.
Nightbreed just kind of holds his sword blade down, like resting his hand on it. He doesn't really have much strength to do much else.
Mitchell approaches and looks at everybody like, may I? And he motions to Nightbreed.
He...
Have at it.
Well,
I'm sure everybody else is just okay with it.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but that's basically the you see like resignation.
Well,
like okay.
These goblins have kept me and my family hostage here for a long time in the lower depths. So I would like to make sure that they didn't use a goblin toxin that's very, very, very potent that they put on their arrow tips. I have with me, and he opens up his vest. Does anybody do anything?
No, my hand's still on my.
Yeah, no.
So you're not raising your
blade.
sword?
No, it's at the ready, so if something happens, I can pull it out real quick.
All right, Doip.
I'm convulsing in pain.
Yeah, you're convulsing in pain. When I want to know, when does the concern of all the shit that you just threw on the ground versus how much pain you come in, when does your concern for your bag outweigh your dealing with your pain? Do you ever, like, while in pain, scamper over to your bag?
My bag is pretty damn important to me, but right now I'm in too much pain to care about it.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, and the bones are starting to reset. You're pretty much done with the transformation process. It was only for a few seconds, and your nose starts bleeding. Yeah, he runs up and kneels down towards Nightbreed and says, "These are antidotes, should you need it. May I?" And he motions to one of the arrows.
Nightbreed nods,
And he's like, "Do you need something to bite on?"
shakes his head.
And then he just grabs it and goes, "Shink! What is your constitution?"
What is my constitution? It is 14.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll for it. I mean, 10's average. 14's like Olympic athletes. You're just like... as he shinks the arrow out. And you notice that at the end, they're using like obsidian arrows and other materials that they found in the mine. It's not even really metal. So they're really serrated and jagged. They don't go in clean, but because they aren't built with such precision, they don't go in deep. So
I got a bunch of shallow arrows sticking out of me.
yeah, they're very shallow. Some of them aren't even sticking straight out. Some of them, because of gravity, the arrow has actually tilted downward, and they're just kind of hanging out your torso at a funny angle. And he takes a look at it and tastes it. And he's like, "Okay, good." He looks up at you as if to explain himself and says, "The acid is strong enough that it'll burn the tip of your tongue."
Nightbreed still kind of grimaces, like that's gross. That kind of grimace. Like
Listen.
it gives a look, like ugh.
You've done my family a fair amount of good here. We are a family of wererats that have lived in these mines for quite some time. But unfortunately, when the dwarves built this place, they connected it to other routes that lead off into the hillsides, the highlands. We think the goblins live in the highlands, and they may have stumbled onto one of the abandoned arteries of the mine. Now, although we haven't dealt with them directly, they moved into the top story very quickly, and since then we haven't dared show our face, but they stole this artifact from us, and it began changing them. Listen, you're in no shape to fight, but you need to be careful. Is there anywhere you can go?
What do you mean? Out of the cave? We could go out of the cave.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you have anywhere to stay? You're not going to be walking all the way back to Gainsborough, are you?
Yeah. Is the witch's hut near us? How close
Yeah.
was it? I don't
The
remember.
witch's hut was half a day away. When you told her about the mines, she even knew exactly what you're talking about. She's like, "Oh."
Oh man. Well, half a day. Do you think I would be willing to huff it half a day? Like, as injured as I am, I have 1 hit point.
I can medicine your ass.
Well, I've already been medicined.
Yeah,
I've got 1 hit point, not 0.
it's up to you guys. He's just suggesting that you...
No, Nightbreed may be tough, but he's a realist then, and so he's like, I don't think I can make it that far. He tries to stand up using his sword as a crutch.
He goes to help you, at least grab your other arm. Do you let him?
I do not shrug away.
Okay, so yeah, he helps you up.
He wanted to kill me. He could have done it by now.
Yeah, he's actually quite strong. He kind of dusts you off, and he says, "The only way that I really get supplies to my family is I know all the secret passages. There's hallways that connect all the rooms, and with a simple removal of a brick, you can pass through undetected. So that's how I get to the surface for food."
Brilliant.
there a place that... Are you offering us a place to stay?
No, we can't even get to my place. I have to sneak through. There's no way I'm traveling with wounded people. The goblins on the second level there. Well, let's just say they have one of those, and he points to the religious artifact.
Well, we came in here for a reason, so...
What was your reason?
We have reason to believe that there's necromancy down here.
Well, there isn't necromancy per se. There was a curse put on the dungeon, and some of the miners that are still alive are zombies. We've been trying to clean them out, but occasionally one or two get away.
Well, they got into a well for Gainsborough, and now we need to get it out so that their water's been tainted.
Well, Gainsborough's, or Calgary's well? Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Calgary's not... Or the Calgary well is actually on our level. I could send my family out to kill and dispatch that undead for you.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
But it's going to take some time. The goblins have been taking all of the loot that they stole from Calgary and putting it on the second level. Does anyone remember anything to do with the loot? I'm going to ask that. I normally don't, but it's been 3 months.
Are you referring to the gate piece?
The gate pieces. The wagon of your actual quest, the one that you're getting paid for, is to get that shipment back to the guy in town.
Oh, okay. Yes, I remember. That's what we found on the notice board.
Right. And you guys found pieces of the shipment that the witch identified as a gate piece, but the rest of the supplies the goblins have.
Are we near the second level? I asked the guy.
Well, you can get down to the second level. It's really just one big room, a warehouse. It's a place in the mine where they have completely carved it out. It's not structured like this one, so you'll have to be careful of tripping on the stone, but I wouldn't go down there. The whole reason why the goblins put it down there is because they're... He hesitates.
They're what?
Their brothers that have changed are down there. And although they still think with a similar mindset as their goblin compatriots, they're far more dangerous than the normal goblins. Don't dare deal with them.
You can, I mean, the news, Nightbreed is obviously displeased with discovering this. Like, he knows that he has to go there, and so he's just got a look of, like, utter frustration on his face. Or on the bottom half of his jaw that you can see.
Went off to Mars. What are you doing?
I am vividly listening to the conversation.
Good answer.
Well,
I was going to say, I almost believed that.
well, we have to get the shit or the shipment stuff. We can't really leave without it. That's the whole reason we came.
So what does your character feel? Is she like, man, we gotta get the shit, man?
No, my character feels that we need to get Nightbreed some heals.
Okay.
He needs to rest.
You and the ranger, probably out of anybody here, would have more medical knowledge and medical instinct, so that might not be a bad recommendation. I'm gonna go open a window real quick. Hang on one moment, guys. I'm gonna put it to an away
constant disruptions, James. No,
it's terrible, man. It is terribly hot. All right, I'll be right back.
So hot.
Returns.
That would be funny. We're just like, hey, come on, let's go outside. He's like, yeah. An hour passes. We're like, screw you, DM. We're leaving.
Oh, already. I had to unstick myself from my chair. I was like, all right. So yeah, you guys having more medical knowledge in general, and I'm not even make you roll for it. You guys are trained in medicine. Know that he needs help before you continue.
Yeah. We definitely need to get some
I'm
meds.
still on my back, and I just kind of look over at Nightbreed.
I like look at him. You
Yeah,
guys
so
we have
I got
have a
something
moment of
for you,
agony.
guy. It's if I completely forgot about my previous ordeal. just kind of pop up on my feet, shuffle over to my back, and start chucking things around and slapping other things together.
All right.
And I come back and set down what looks like a little lantern emitting kind of a faint green.
Okay. So you set down the lantern. What does that do?
After a short rest, everybody gets 1d4 hits.
Okay, so you guys want to take an hour-long rest?
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what? Let's add flavor to this. I'm going to allow one of you to attempt to remove the arrows with a medicine check. And if he can beat a 15 on your medicine check, I will give him an additional d6 healing. On top of that, just so you know, Nightbreed, you have one more hit dice left on this character.
Does anybody remember if I used my second wind?
I do not remember.
No, you did not use your second wind yet.
Okay. Cool. Well, before we take the long rest, though, I mean, because
It's a short rest. It's
That's what I
just an
meant.
hour.
Is the guy gonna wait around though, or does he look like he's getting ready to leave?
Well, he's gonna go take care of that zombie. You don't really need him for anything else.
Well, except for he said he knew ways back up to the surface.
Oh, yeah. He can lead you back to the surface. That's not a problem. So you guys are going back to the surface?
Yeah.
Would that be a wise choice, or should we rest here while we're starting?
Well, let's rest here for the short rest, and then we'll go back with at least we'll have a little bit more heals. Except for you, you're freaking fine.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I'm looking at everybody's stats. The short rest may be all the party needs.
It's the healing from the short rest plus 1d4.
Yeah, well, the healing from the short rest is if you guys decide to use a hit dice. So now that you're short resting, you guys can choose to use one hit dice, and then you get an additional d4 on top of that. So for like Trevor, if you use the hit dice and the additional healing, you could get a 14. And if somebody removes arrows from you and they beat that 15 threshold, then it could go up even more. So you have the potential of going back to full. And I think the only other person who was severely injured was Doip. I'm looking at his character sheet. It's 10 out of 30. But he's got 4 hit dice left. So he could spend 1 hit dice now, gain an additional 4, be at 18, and then later on take another short rest. Or
Yeah, I'm willing to do that. We can. I will use my hit dice.
well, first do your second wind, because you have not used that yet. Or do you want to save it?
I want to save it.
Okay, so how you use hit dice on this sheet is you open up your character sheet and you go to the core stats page. Down where it says hit dice, and with your class, Trevor, it says fighter, paladin, ranger, you click the use dice there. See the... Okay, so you actually just regained 7 HP.
Yay!
Plus 1d4.
Well, hang on, we gotta do everybody's thing first.
Okay.
So Trevor, you are now at 8.
Dun, 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 dun.
No more hit dice for me.
Okay, so Doip, did you want to use a hit dice during this rest?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead and roll use on your hit dice. Okay. What? How'd you get an 8? Oh, it's because it's plus your con. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Wow, you rolled shit, Trevor. Dang. Alright, so Doip is now at 18, and that's before the D4. Kethra, do you want to use a hit dice? Do you have one left?
Hmm?
Wah,
0.
wah, wah. What?
She has a -1 con. She literally rolled a 1.
Oh.
So
That's
this
not
this
good.
short rest did not do much for you, Kethra. You're still very bruised and battered. Your wounds were beyond the scope of a short rest's worth of healing. Grim, would you like
I
to
do
spend
want
one?
to spend one.
Go ahead. And I appreciate you waiting. Oh, 9. Oh, man. Grim, can you explain what being at 45 HP is like? And can you please tell me why that's not your maximum and your maximum is actually 48, which is fucking ridiculous?
Because it was my random good rolls, and it just so happened to be on my health.
There
And
you go.
I was ecstatic when that happened.
His mom made him eat his vegetables.
Vegetables.
I imagine a ranger having a mother, and they're in the forest, and she's like, "Eat your veggies," and he's like, "Of course, it's all we have. I've been eating veggies. I don't understand." Could all of you roll a d4, please?
You're gonna live. Roll a d4.
How do I do this again?
Bullshit.
/roll d20 or /roll space 1d4. So Kethra's 2 more, Grim is 4 more, Nightbreed is 1 more, our Observer healed 1, and Dagg is 4 more. So if you guys can edit your HP on your tokens, that'd be great. So you get 1 more, Trevor.
So
I did
technically,
that.
I only
I
get
already
3.
did it.
Okay. Now, I have a question. Who wants to roll the medicine check?
I can.
Now, I'm going to warn you right now. He's got arrows in him, okay? 15 is the DC to give him the boost. But there could be potential consequences if you roll really low. Let you know that now.
I'll let you do it, troll.
Yeah.
I've killed Trevor enough.
All right.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
when you
but-
ricocheted that arrow right into his face?
It was
And then blamed it on Troll? No, Troll shot the arrow and you
He
ricocheted
did
it. Used
Alright.
your little out of arrow and tried to throw it and you rolled a 1. Hey! Not bad, but unfortunately no bonus. But you did remove
Yeah,
all the
it's well
arrows. You did remove all the arrows.
Boy.
Nice.
So, explain to me
Stop
how...
killing you.
Explain to me the ranger technique of patching up an arrow wound. What does that look like, Troll?
Well, that is a very good question, James.
Absolutely.
So, well, it really depends on how far in the arrow is.
Shallow.
Yeah, so with the shallow, you basically, it hurts like hell, but you kind of have to do the rock and pull.
What do you
But
do
not too
after
much
the arrow's
force.
removed?
You just spit on it and then put a leaf over it. No,
Well, that's why you didn't get a 15. I would laugh if he rolled a nat 20 and that was how he did it. Who knew? No, but seriously, how did you plug up the holes?
So what I had done was actually, what did I do? I took little shreds of my bedroll. Oh no, not my bedroll. I'm gonna use some of that
He's
cloth
like,
that's lying around.
I need to sleep. Wait, did you say you're going to use some of that cloth laying around?
Trevor dies of sepsis.
I was going to say, this is Daisy all over again. You look at a goblin bed, it's like, there's shit on it.
What condition is that in? Is it is it rotten?
I
Oh,
mean,
so
you
it
could
was
just
like-
bandage it. I just wanted to know if there was a special ranger way of doing this. Apparently not.
Not that I can think of, but basically I kind of just wrap it up, dude. I just wrap it up.
As you're wrapping it up, Mitchell kind of raises his hand because he stayed so he could show you the entrance, as you guys mentioned. Oh, wait, no, you guys decided against that, didn't you? Right? Did you guys ask him to
No.
stay so he could show you the entrance?
What?
Oh, he's turning into Matrix.
I asked.
Yes, I want him to stay so that he can show us. That's
Okay.
what I was saying at the.
Yeah, so he stayed, and as Troll's doing that, he goes, oh, wait, hang on. And he pulls out a bunch of some, like, trail mix and stuff, trail mix, and he's got, like, leaves and things in there, just random stuff to keep himself alive. And he takes some of the moss that he's been collecting, and he's like, here you go, use that, it'll stop the bleeding. That way the bandages
thank you.
last longer. Just put them in the hole.
Just for whatever reason, I didn't have any.
That's all right. He kind of like looks at you with admiration though, because of the way that you remove the arrows. It's clear that you've done this before, and he really appreciates it. And he kind of kneels down and he's like, you know, there's always room in my family for someone like you, should you ever feel out of place.
I give him a nod.
And then he kind of stands and he's like, well, whenever you people are ready, I can take you to the wall here, which leads straight to the exit.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I
I'm ready.
flick off the lantern and my backpack.
Alright, so he takes you all up to the northern face of the wall and pulls out a brick, just like the one in the previous episode. The bricks kind of shudder, dust sprinkles through, and they just one by one start curling in on each other. And the wall spiders open. And this hallway is well lit because this is what he was coming through when he heard you guys fighting the goblins. Dust and spider webs litter the room. This one looks like it's been visited often. Like there's a clean trail where the dust is on the floor. And a bunch of empty bags and baskets at the other side. And he motions forward.
I follow.
He kind of... Well, he's not leading you. He's just motioning forward. Like, there you
Well,
go.
then I follow his motion.
Okay, as you walk by him, he kind of reaches his hand out and grabs your forearm and stops you. And he looks at you in the eyes and he's like, my people did not do this. I hope you remember that.
Nightberry just nods and continues on.
Right, and then he lets all of you go through. And he tosses you the brick. He tosses... I'm going to say he actually hands the brick to Grim as Grim's passing by, since Grim will most likely be the last one. And he's like, here you go, so that you can get through the other side. Now that there's no goblins on this level, I'll go see what I can find out. And then he turns towards the double doors in the south and bids you all a goodbye.
We limp our way up to the surface.
Much appreciated.
I'd say, as you guys go through the door, this door actually leads to the main room, and it's behind a false illusionary rubble, like the one that you guys went through to get into that first entryway. And the exit to the cave is to your left.
Well, I'm gonna head out towards the witch's hut then.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys come out, you guys arrive there in the morning. It is now late afternoon. The sky hasn't changed color yet. The birds are still singing, but the heat of the day beats off the plains, causing sweat to dribble down your brow. You guys leave the cave and realize that with how the wind is blowing, it doesn't look the same when you came back in. So it's not going to be too hard, but I need somebody to make a survival check or any other check that they think would be applicable in order to find your way back to the witch's hut.
They're taking the opposite to Isengard.
It's not going to be difficult. So who
all
is the
neutral.
elected? Okay, there we go. That's what I need to know.
Because
So wait.
we're in...
Your little thing is standing outside the cave.
No, we left that at the
Oh,
witch's
that's
hut.
right. You did leave it at the witch's
Noisy.
hut. Yep. Good call.
So this is forest, isn't it?
No, it's plains.
Oh, jam. Okay. Survival. Yes, I think I will use my survival.
Excellent.
Oh,
Damn,
Like, I
not
know
a
the
nat
way, no
20,
problem.
but very good 20 on that. Very good 20. Well, yeah, you start heading back to the witches, no problem.
Told you guys I knew where I was going.
And then a pack of wolves comes out.
Oh my god, my nightmare!
All right, so yeah, you start approaching, and you see a very beautiful woman, elven woman with black hair, standing on a rock, probably 200 feet away from the witch's house. Next to her is a blonde woman with braids.
Either of these women look like the pretty witch.
It would be the dark-haired elf. The woman with the braids was the person that you got from Calgary. They see
Oh
you,
yeah, the screaming bitch.
they see you approaching, and they're kind of like holding their hands up to their brow, furrowing their brow as the sun is going over their eyes. And clearly elven woman has keener eyesight, so she sees you coming and she lowers her hand, and then they exchange some words as you approach.
I'm going to approach a bit more cautiously.
Do you warn the rest of the group?
No.
All right.
Not out of malice, but I mean, I assume that they will watch.
So
me and take.
how are you approaching cautiously? I might ask, because what gives them the sign that you're doing it?
Like my hand lingering towards my weapon.
Okay, so you guys do notice that his hand goes to the weapon. Does your walk change, or are you just acting casual, intentionally?
No, there's a significant change. Like every step is a little bit more calculated, planned, more graceful, I guess.
How does everybody respond to this?
I ain't even paying attention.
So Doip is actually just kind of stalking up next to you, his bag of trinkets going clink, 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 clink. He pulls out some coconuts and he's like... How about you, Grim? How does your character respond to this?
I followed suit.
You follow it? All right, perfect. So, explain to me how Grim goes down. Does he lower himself? Does he just go quieter? What weapon do you have out?
Usually dinner and candlelight.
I mean, I imagine
my
Grim is
short bow.
actually a little bit ahead of Nightbreed, since he's the one doing the survival. But I could totally imagine, like, you looking over your shoulder, seeing him. So you pull out your short bow. Do you get low in the grass?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I want you to actually just roll a stealth for me.
I'm an adult, James.
I mean, I'm assuming you're being stealthy. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that you're being noisy, but I want to know how stealthy. Pretty damn stealthy. So yeah,
Oh,
you guys just kind of see him go, unless your passive perception, which is your, I'm just to say, your wisdom plus 10. Unless that's above 14, he just kind of disappears. How about Kethra? How are you handling this? What are your plans, since you see everybody going down and into quiet mode, except Doip, who's literally just keeping pace?
Getting along.
I kind of give Dagg a funny look and then maneuver myself so that I'm standing like slightly behind Nightbreed with my hand on my sword.
Excellent.
Oh,
Right.
as I'm approaching, I'm kind of keeping an eye on the lady. Like, I know that this can be perceived as hostile, so I hold up a hand and, like, make sure that she sees me.
All right.
Stating that I'm there and coming.
The elven lady hops off her boulder. The blonde just kind of stands there still with her hand up there, and she starts approaching you guys. She's not armed. She's almost playfully running her hands over the top of the planes. And as she gets within vocal range, she's like, "You're back soon. Too soon."
She can probably see the blood leaking through the bandages covering all the parts of my body. We had a little trouble. We need some rest. We'll head back in soon.
Well, here, why don't you camp outside?
She indicating at a specific spot.
Right in front of her house. You guys are only a couple 100 feet away from her home now.
Oh, Nightbird's gonna find a little piece of shade and sit down.
Yeah, there's a couple trees. There's actually also that weird shrunken head on a stick that goes "Ah!" when you guys walk by it.
Definitely not gonna be next to that thing.
Yeah, and then you guys make your way into the middle of her yard and just start bedding down. And she's like, "Why don't you all rest? Remember, one long rest is all it takes." She smiles and then goes inside the house. And she goes, "Come, let's get them something to eat." And the blonde woman says, "Oh, thank you." And walks into the house. She hesitates, though, and kind of looks back at you guys. And she's like, "Did you kill them all?"
We killed a lot of them.
Damn. Well, thank you. You avenging my friends is going to make this a better evening.
Nightbird just kind of doesn't respond. Just sits there stoically.
It's not long as you guys are sitting there relaxing. Doip, you kind of look over at your mechanized unit, and it cocks its head towards you as if, do you want me to come over there, or?
Oh no, it's in. Remember, it's holding the puzzle pieces or whatever. It's
Right.
in lockdown mode.
Oh, that's right, because it's, yep, you're right. It is in lockdown mode. DM slip, my bad. It's not long before Sarsa and the blonde woman come out, and they have bowls of porridge and such.
Yum.
She hands you a bowl of porridge, Nightbreed. The blonde goes over towards Dagg and hands him one, and moves over to Grim and makes sure he's got one.
Up a finger and ask if there's milk in it.
She kind of furrows around and goes, no.
Good.
And then she moves over to
Just remember the
Grim.
goats.
Yep. And she's like, hi. I have a bowl of soup for you. Or a bowl of porridge.
Super porridge. What is it?
Well, it's actually more like pottage. It's just leftover crap that peasants eat.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it.
She smiles and pulls a strand of blonde hair that's streaked in front of her eye and moves off to Kethra and also hands her a plate. Sarsa's standing by Nightbreed for a while looking down at him, and then she kind of spins around and sits down next to you leaning against the tree. And she pulls out a water skin and pops it open and hands it over to you.
He drinks it.
It's wine.
Gusto. Yeah, okay, then he definitely drinks it.
Yeah, like, how does that look when you're expecting water and it ends up being wine? What is your reaction?
Well, at first it's like, what the hell was that? And he's like, oh wait, well, I know what that is, and then continues to drink it deeply.
Excellent. He's like, she's like, drink it all, sweetie.
Oh,
You know-
he's not a lush. He does not. Takes a big drought and then gives it back.
Like wiping his mouth, like. She takes it, and you see her as well. She's been around the plains a few times, and she just swigs it. Some of the wine's kind of dribbling down the sides of her cheeks, and she wipes it off with her arms. And she looks over at you and smiles, and she goes, I'm beginning to wonder if you get injured on purpose.
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
Oh my, and a good wound and scar attracts the women, doesn't it?
He doesn't say anything, and it's obviously because he doesn't know what to say.
She just kind of giggles at that, and she says, well, the sooner you get to sleep, the sooner this will all be better. But remember, it only works once. And she stands up and leaves.
He's out in a couple of minutes. As soon as he downs the porridge, he closes his eyes and is asleep.
Alright, I assume everybody else goes to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I set up my detector and lantern.
Oh, you mean the shrunken head going, ah, isn't enough? Yeah, so you set up your perimeter defenses, and you guys bed down. Dawn comes, rosy streaks of pink stretch out across the sky. The golden rays of sun just barely grazing over the top of the plains. And it's about now that everybody's starting to wake up. You're starting to smell water starting to brew, like tea and stuff like that. You hear the boiling water. Sarsa's already moving around. The blonde girl's nowhere to be seen. And then it's just you guys. But morning comes.
Nightbreed, having stripped off his armor, before falling asleep, at least the heavy pieces, begins to strap it back on.
Yeah, so you start realizing that you're having no issues strapping it back on. You don't even feel exhausted.
Take off the cloth and look at my wounds.
There are no wounds.
You see Nightbreed's like flexing, just to make sure the skin's not gonna pop open or something.
You actually feel better than you've ever felt in as long as you can remember.
Pain you didn't even know that was there is gone.
It's a beautiful morning.
Do you guys remember the goat's milk?
Mm-hmm.
I remember the goat's milk.
Yes. Well, She said it would protect you, and it did.
That protection is gone from me now.
Yeah. Say, since it seems like you're the first
Oh,
one...
I did forget about the goat's milk, yeah.
Same. I'm
Since
like,
it-
what?
Since it seems like, Trevor, you are the first to kind of like get up and start grabbing your armor. I mean, I imagine everybody's waking up at once. I don't need that much detail, but could you please roll a Constitution saving throw?
I can.
Yeah, that's good enough. All of a sudden, your stomach goes, and you're like, oh, and then you fight back the urge.
The urge, I let out a big out fart.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe it's just, yeah, maybe you're just like, and that kind of streaks across the plains.
Oh
And
man,
Sarsa
I
looks
feel
up.
so much better.
Sarsa looks up from the pot at you, and she's like, "You're lucky. That's all you had."
I can tell by the feeling.
Yes, definitely. Does anyone else wake up at this moment?
I do.
Yeah, I do.
All right, Toy, you're next up. Tell me how you wake up. What wakes you up? How do you wake up?
I jerk awake. Thunder's fart.
Like, no,
so it's
Dad,
like,
no!
huh?
Yes.
All right, yeah. So you're just like, ugh. How does Dagg wake up? Like, how does he? What's his routine?
He doesn't really have a routine. It really depends on what he's at. Kind of.
Is he kind of the kind of guy that sleeps in?
On days like this, yes.
Perfect. So yeah, you're just like, could you roll a Constitution for me? Constitution saving throw.
We can do.
Woo-wee!
Holy crap!
Oh.
All that happens to Dagg is he's just like a little tiny burp comes out, and he goes, "Oh, what was that?" All right,
Dwarven
Turn it into that
constitution.
rat.
Kethra, you're more meditating than sleeping, right?
Yeah.
I remember you saying that the last time we played. What snaps you out of your meditation?
The noxious gas coming from Nightbreed's ass.
So yeah, you and Dwight at the same time were like, "Huh? What did you?"
Oh my god, what just came out of your butt?
So Kethra turns into a Texan. She's like, "Hold on, doggy. There's some shit on there." So why don't you explain to me what's your wake up? Do you just stand up all peacefully and start rolling your mat?
Yeah, maybe do a little yoga.
So you start
Morning
start
yoga.
bending into a stretch. Roll a Constitution save.
Oh my god, please be small. Yeah!
Oh,
What happens,
what?
James? 1 and an 8.
Uh,
kidding me?
Amazing.
Explain to me how when you bend over to do your yoga stretch that all of the toxins from your injuries and all of the toxins from the magic that was affecting you guys was purged with the spell that was cast. But unfortunately, that must come out, whether in form of a tiny burp, a fart, or in your case, a
Explosive
lot of
Avalanche of
explosive.
shit.
So what happens to Kethra when...
Kethra,
Yeah,
have
you just
ever heard of
hear the ass ripping noise followed by a whoo, and then she scurries away.
All right. So, as you're scurrying, Sarsa goes, no, wrong way, sweetie. Go around the building. There's a latrine back there. And you, stop, and you run around the building. And as you come around the building, you see the blonde girl sitting on one of the latrines, crying, like, oh, my God. And you run over there. Unfortunately, not making it. But you can clean that.
With a
Grim.
shovel.
How does Grim wake up in the morning?
Grim's the kind where it kind of sounds like things are far away and then they fade in and all the sounds become how they should be heard.
Oh, so you literally heard, and then you're like, what the hell is that? is that thunder? And you kind of like flutter your eyes a little bit, and then you hear, oh! All right, so I'm gonna need you to roll a Constitution check.
No.
All right, that's enough. Yeah, to you it's just like.
Burp.
So went off to Mars. You realize as you get to the latrine that you didn't really mess yourself. You just like you're lucky. But as you sit
thank God.
as you sit on the latrine, you realize that your time is not through. So it just goes, and you're like having a hard time. Your stomach's aching. You realize that's why the girl next to you is crying, as she's in a similar situation where she can't get over the cramps.
Make it stop 5?
And then out in the front, Sarsa's like scooping this water out of the cauldron and kind of yawning, and she's like, oh, "I'll be right back." Goes around the hut and comes up to the latrine and hands the cup to you too. And she's like, "Just a normal medicinal remedy. You'll be fine." Now,
2 girls, 1 cup.
Oh, I'm gonna have to edit that out of the video. No, because if it was 2 girls, 1 cup, it would have to start off as something amazing and like, oh, okay, 2 girls, yeah, that's
I was
so
saying that's what that scenario was, where it was 2 girls, and one of them was given the other a cup. 2 girls, 1 cup. You guys all took it to the shit. That wasn't me.
So as she goes back there and hands you the mugs, the only mechanical purpose of this was to say that you guys are going to be delayed because of the stomach aches and all the torments and stuff. You guys are going to have to wait until mid-afternoon before you head back. So it might be evening by the time you get out. Something you might want to prepare for. But in the time being, let's get all of your hit points back up to full on these sheets. So Dagg Nabbit, your current hit points is 22. Let's change that to 30.
Hooray.
And everybody level up. But that's the only one she's got, guys. So when you go back into this dungeon, please do be careful. She kneels down and says, "Well, I assume you're going back today, then. You don't seem like the lot that just easily gives up."
Yes, we will be heading back.
Well, just remember one thing. When you travel at night, please do be careful. As you guys, when I first found you, could tell. There are wolves in the area. And other predators.
Maybe we should wait till dawn.
I don't think that's wise either. You stirred up a hornet's nest, right? The goblins might just leave.
Ma'am,
She turns over to Dagg.
before we go out, again, whenever we go, do you have any spare cloth for the big lug here in case he gets plugged up again by arrows?
She says, "Well, I haven't made any bandages, but I'm kind of busy. If one of you wants to take a try, you can go use the materials to make bandages."
I'm pretty handy. I'll give it a shot.
Okay, what skill would you like to use? The obvious one being medicine, but if you can give me a reason why another one should be used, I will definitely do it.
I'll bring the monk along and she can show me an copier.
Yeah.
The monk is preoccupied.
I'm on the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
She's recovering from her illness.
You might be able to bring it to me, but I can't leave. And they might get a little contaminated.
Or you can also use the ranger.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Ranger Rick.
Alright,
The
so
ranger and I, we will make bandages.
since Doip is assisting you, Troll, since you'll be the one making the medicine check, I will let you do so at advantage. So roll a medicine, and you get to keep the highest one.
All right. Come on, guys. Let's do this.
All right.
16.
Not bad. You get 3 bandages.
Oh. Piece of candy.
And I'm going to say they heal 1d4.
Okay.
All right. And it looks like we're about to hit our hour mark, which will be our first break. And we will start delving back into the quest. So thank you all for joining. Thank you, Astro. I'd like to thank Doip, Troll, and of course Went Off to Mars. And we should be back in about 5 minutes. So please stay tuned for episode 4, part 2, when we leave the witch's hut. Thank you.
Oh
Bye.
boy.